My name is Ron Farrar Brown, and I'm the writer, director, and producer of the feature film Consent.
I'm Jane Brown, Ron's wife and one of the producers of the movie.
The shrinks say I should be mad at you. You said we go to the same school. Did I ask you to get rejected? I have to tell you something. Promise you won't hate me.
You're a good brother, Josh. I'm gonna sleep in here with you tonight.
I'd kill myself if anything ever happened to you. When things get messed up, sometimes I say to myself, what would Sammy do?
She would slit her wrists. Come on, wouldn't you want to get that on tape?
As one of the producers of the movie Consent, probably my biggest contribution to the film was getting the locations. The locations of the movie, the location of the movie was actually like another character, and about maybe a week before we were scheduled to shoot, Ron said, you know what, we don't have the right location and we just might not be able to do the movie. So I let all of my pride, I put it away on the shelf and called every rich person I knew and basically said, I'm really begging you, can we use your house? And we were very lucky, and I did find a number of great places.
Actually, Jane did a lot more than that as producer. It's a long process going from script to screen, and she was really there from start to finish. Feedback on my script, obviously securing the locations. She was basically the costume person. She just did anything that thing that wasn't covered was her job. That's a great question, and it's something that I feel strongly about. What I learned from my first feature was not to rush. And while I was able to complete my first feature, and it did end up getting a video distribution, and I'm very proud of the film, I think what makes this film work better is that I took my time. I didn't feel like I had to get the film done in a certain a period of time. During the editing process, I got to a certain point, then I stopped to allow myself to reflect on where I was at the time, and that was very valuable. That was probably the most important thing I took away from my first experience.
Well, am I ever not sure if it's the right project? No, I've never had that feeling with Ron. I think that the two of us are unusual in the sense that we very much communicate a lot all the time. So I'm very involved with Ron's process in terms of his ideas and how they get developed. So, and I just respect his mentality and his ability and his work ethic and his creativity so incredibly much that I just celebrate every single thing, honestly, that he's done on the film. This film is really, really dark, intimate, and has some very intense sex scenes. So one of the things that does answer your question, I've never doubted the film, but there is there are moments when we're filming a sex scene. I didn't know I was a prude until I watched him direct a sex scene, and then I'm like, he is disgusting. He is such a dirty old man. Ooh, get me out of here. So that's the only thing that occurs for me. Other than that, I am like his best cheerleader.
Good answer.
Watching his process never makes me want to get behind the camera and direct. It's something that I have. I know I don't have the ability to do it, and I have the ability to watch actors and to really be a second eyes or whatever in ears. I'm really, really good with that, but directing is so much more than that. It's a huge part of it, but Ron is so talented at dealing with all the organizational skills and everything else that it takes. So we're a good balance. I'm never jealous, and I never want to do what he does.
It's been a long, long process. I came to New York to be an actor 30 years ago and worked pretty consistently as an actor, but there was a voice in the back of my head, which was my father's voice saying, get a real job. And so I found myself in the restaurant business, and I had a number of restaurants in Manhattan that were very successful, but they didn't really provide me with the kind of satisfaction that I was looking for, and I discovered that was creative satisfaction. So I started to write, and as I wrote it, they were kind of very visual kind of little pieces, and I realized, wait, these feel like little movies. And yet I wasn't a filmmaker, I was an actor. And so I said, but these feel like movies. I want to make this into a movie. I had my very first little short film. And so I went to the Barnes & Noble School of Filmmaking, which means I read every book there is, self-taught, and made my first short back in 97 or 6 or whatever it was. And the short did 35 festivals, won 11 awards, played all over the world, and I was very pleased with it. I loved the process. And I said to myself, wait, I can do this. This is something I like, and I think I'm pretty good at it. So I started expanding the writing into feature-length scripts, which are a different animal completely. But I have 5 scripts, and I started with the first one as actually it did First Glance, my first film, and that's why I'm here, because I always knew I would apply again, and they've been great to me here to accept me both times. So, did I answer your question? Well, everything we do is somewhat of a collaboration. So yes, but I have scripts that are unproduced, but I don't think they will be the films that I make. I have the idea that there's something percolating in my unconscious that this time will be. My first films my short was funny, although it dealt with a serious issue. My 2 features have been very intense movies, and I have the feeling that there's a comedy in me that is percolating. So that's what I'm working towards. But in the meantime, I'm also going back into the restaurant business. I'm opening up a pizza parlor in Brooklyn. Yeah. Crown Heights, Brooklyn, 781 Franklin Avenue. Be there.
Being at the film festivals can be a range of experiences. From, as you said, networking with other filmmakers and really seeing what other people are doing and getting behind them and really getting to talk with them, because it is an unusual kind of endeavor because it's a little bit thankless. It's very hard to break in, especially in these days. So there's a camaraderie that one can achieve in some of the film festivals. So I've liked that, and we've had some really nice times. Our actors both won Best Actor awards in one of the festivals, and Ron won Breakout Director, Filmmaker of the Year. So we've had a lot of reinforcement. So we're basically, I think it's been a really lovely experience being in the festival.
Can I just give a little plug to the film in a way? And when I cast this film, I cast really with all unknowns, except for the mother, who's Kate Burton, who is known for her roles, Emmy nominated for Grey's Anatomy. But it's about young people, and they're all unknowns. But since the film has opened, a young man who has a cameo role is now the lead in The Hard Times of R.J. Berger on MTV. The girl who plays the lead girl in Consent is now one of the leads on ABC Family's Pretty Little Liars. And the young man, Peter Vack, who plays the lead boy in the movie was just cast in the pilot for an upcoming MTV series called I Just Want My Pants Back, directed by Doug Liman. So the moral of the story is get cast in a Ron Brown film and you'll get famous.